So, it is Saturday, October 28th. And last night, I finally got what I needed to get. My cycle finally came late last night. And the pain that it has brought along with it is just unnecessary and different per usual. I never know what to expect. And with this cycle, I have a terrible migraine on my left side. And that started yesterday afternoon at work before my period came. But I didn't think anything of it other than like I've been eating like crap and just maybe not taking the best care of myself. So, of course, right? A migraine. And I've gotten them before. I get them, right? And so now I understand for sure that when I get migraines, it's a severe like fluctuation in hormones. Like that's all that it could be. So that started yesterday afternoon. Last night it intensified to the point where it took me down. Didn't do anything. I just laid around and watched a couple movies. I did not sleep very well. Like I kept waking up, severe pain in my head and in my shoulder. Didn't take anything though, because it's me, I'm a ding ding. I just thought that maybe I was laying wrong or I was hot or just all these other things. I did not get my lazy ass up and take something for it. When I woke up with it this morning, I was like, oh no. Let's go ahead and knock this out. But I'm where I need to be finally. I'm so happy. I'm about to call LIC and make my appointment, probably for Monday. So I'm really happy and excited and thankful because it just sucks, right? Like I mentioned in other videos, when I was little, I prayed and prayed for it to go like away. And I always thought like, how is this fair that we have to go through something like a period and like I'm being good, like I'm not even trying to have a baby, I'm not even having sex, I'm not doing any of that. So it felt like a punishment. Like, why do I have to have this period? Because it was so painful and just so long and so heavy. I'm like, this just isn't fair. And I prayed for it to go away. Like many other people who are coming out and telling their stories that have like really bad periods, menorrhagia, are saying also they prayed for it to go away. Mine didn't go away. They just kind of got worse and worse. And I just had to deal with it because, I don't know, maybe one or two doctors early on suggested I get on birth control, but it was just kind of like, here's a Band-Aid for it, and not really, like, there was never a plan to find out why, right? So that's why I say like this endometriosis and fibroid situation probably lasted my entire life. I probably had this going on my entire young adult life. And it was never really investigated until I was in my 30s and trying to conceive. So, of course, naturally, that had affected my anemia my whole life. And I say affected it because I had it before menses. Like, I've had iron deficiency since I was a toddler. But having menorrhagia on top of that only intensified that condition, and that has been my life. So fast forward to now, where I'm still trying to conceive, and everything is depending on my period to come. And it's not coming for 40 days. Let me just tell you, yesterday was the 42nd day in between cycles. This is the second time that's happened. The first time that it happened was in January after... It was in January after my first egg retrieval. Or my second, I don't remember. My first or second with LIC. And that experience took me out because that's never happened before. I've always been on time, 28 days. And then I was always on time between 21 and 28 days. It was never anything longer than a month. And that time in January, it was 43 days, and I lost my shit. It hits different. Yesterday was 42 days. It finally came. I had to do all kind of stuff to like force it along. But it finally came. It's here. And what's upsetting is that it seems like between my last cycle and now, that I may have had a period and it just did not come forth because I'm kind of going through a lot of old right now, and I hate to see that. It's like scary and just ugh. But there's a lot of old that's coming through right now, which makes me think like, okay, when I first saw that spotting, was that something? Or like when I first started feeling actual symptoms, but nothing came out, was that something that was going on? Like, I just don't know, but there's a lot of old happening right now. I don't want to get too like graphic, you know what I mean by old periods. So that's happening first. The new is coming next. I'm feeling very mild cramping. Maybe that's gonna change and it's probably gonna kick my ass later today or tomorrow. But I'm feeling very, very mild cramping. So I just took something. I took a Tylenol for my head, and that is feeling much better. I'm kind of forcing myself to get up, move around, get my apartment in order that makes me comfortable. I'm gonna make some tea, probably water some plants, sit outside, and just like do my morning routine. It's 9 o'clock. I got up at 8:30-ish, 8:30-ish. Didn't sleep very well, so I'll probably be taking naps. All of my plans that I had for today are canceled, which is amazing, thank God, because I just need to rest. So I'm gonna catch up on some like scary movies, and yeah, just do me. I need to call LIC. Okay, it's Monday, October 30th, 6 a.m. and we are getting ready to get on the road. This is what? Day 1 of attempt number 3 to have transfer cycle number 2. Okay. Oh, it's cold. But it feels good. Let's go. So it's 9:30 and I just crossed the Calizona border. But before I did that, I stopped at McDonald's because I forgot my breakfast. Oh, you can't see me, sorry. Sun's coming up. Before I did that, I stopped on the Arizona side of the border to get some breakfast because I forgot food and I'm hungry and I have 4 more hours. And I got 1 breakfast sandwich, 1 hash brown, and a little cup of juice. That cost me $15. Is McDonald's expensive now? Because I don't really eat McDonald's. Is it expensive everywhere, or is it because I was on the border? Why did it cost me $15 for a sandwich, a potato, and a little cup of juice? And when I looked at the receipt, it said upcharge for juice. So was I not supposed to order orange juice with my meal? Because it comes with a drink. Was I not supposed to order orange juice? Was I supposed to order Coca-Cola for breakfast? What? I don't even want to eat it now. Like my sandwich. That just totally turned me off. I'm not even hungry anymore. $15, bro. That's half a tank of gas. Ugh. Gross. Anyways, I have 4 hours left. And side note, this has been like a small but bubbling petty peeve of mine that has recently occurred. I took my car to the dealership recently for some very basic minor things, right? Took my car to the dealership. And then, like the next day, driving it to work, I am thinking that I have like plenty of time, like everything's good, having a great morning. And then I get to work and I'm actually late. And I'm like, how does that happen? But okay. But it kept happening. Like the days after I got my car out of the dealership, I was just like, my timing was just off everywhere that I went. So then I'm in my car one day and I look at my phone and the clock and it's the same time. Which it's a problem because my car is always like, I always have it like 20 to 30 minutes ahead. And I know that sounds crazy. That's like a lot of time to have ahead, but it works for me. That is my routine. Like that's how I function. 20 to 30 minutes ahead is how I usually have my car clock. So the dealer took it upon themselves to reset my clock and set it to the right time, and I didn't know it until like a week later, which really jacked me up. And it's still on the correct time and I hate it. So that I don't know why I just told you that, but yeah, don't touch me. Nobody asked you to change stuff. If my clock was 30 minutes fast, that had to be for a reason, don't you think? Like, I know how to set my clock. I didn't need your assistance in doing that. So now I have to go and reset my clock, probably when I'm on break waiting for instructions, which I'm still going back and forth on if I'm even going to wait for instructions, because my appointment today is at 1:20. Late as fuck. It's at 1:20, so I want to get that done and then get back on the road, because I don't want to be on the road at night. The sun is going down at like 5, 6 o'clock now, so I don't want to be driving back home in the dark. And like for my appointment 1, nothing could possibly be different. So there's like no point in me waiting around 2-3 hours, 1-3 hours for them to just say, oh, start taking estrace and come back in a week. Like, I know that that's what it's going to be. So I don't know. I might stick around like 30 minutes or so. Maybe even an hour. Maybe. I don't know. 30 minutes to an hour, I might stick around and then head back on the road if I don't hear anything back. But anyways, I'm saying all that to say that I'm in Cali officially. I have 2 more hours until my pit stop, my refuel stop, and then 2 more hours after that until I get to my appointment, which hopefully I get there on time. I can't wait for this time change that's happening this week. I cannot wait, because that is going to help me out so much driving wise. I'm not going to have to get up at the ass crack of dawn to make it to my appointment, because Arizona will be ahead, and so that will work in my favor. I'll be going back in time again. Yes, which is awesome. So, ooh, look at all those palm trees blowing in the wind. It is currently 68 degrees in the desert. This morning it got as cold as 56 degrees, and I felt it in my toes. But it's really breezy, really windy, and all the trees are moving, and I love it. And yay! Yay for fall, finally, in the desert. Now, I know everybody else is experiencing freezing temperatures, but, you know, mid-50s, 60s, it's chilly and it's exciting. So yeah, I'm at my stop, my regrouping city in Cali. That means I have 2 more hours to go, but I need to get on the road right now. Like clockwork, every time I get here I get a headache. And I'm not even on estrogen, so it may not even be the estrogen, or it could be the estrogen, and it could also be like the altitude change or something. I don't fucking know. Every time I get to Cali, though, I get a headache. So we're gonna see how this goes. I'm here. I need a shady spot right here. Okay. We're here. Oh, it feels so good. Do I still have a headache? Yes, I do. It's really, really subtle and like teeny tiny minute, but I still have a headache. But I made it. So, and I'm 20 minutes early. I'm about to go in here though. I don't care. Woo. Let's see how day 1, appointment 1 goes. All right. My appointment is over. It's 2 o'clock. Well, it's 2:20. My appointment was at 1:20. It was kind of busy in there, so I don't know if they got me in on time or not. But whatever. It's 2:20. I'm about to get back on the road. My favorite ultrasound tech was there today, and she talked to me, and I'm glad that she was there.
2 more months until the 5.
And, you know, bitching to her and just giving her the whole rundown of what happened and why she's seeing me again made me feel a little bit better. My headache did intensify. But everything that I was just telling her, because again, like, not everybody gets the same note. So her and the other ultrasound tech, they have to kind of like piece things together. And she went back in her history to kind of see what was going on, and she could not make sense of it at all. And so when I told her the story, she was just kind of like, what the fuck also. But I don't know. I'm just on the way up here. I was just kind of like feeling bad about how at this point I don't feel like I have anybody that I can talk to within my team here, which that's not how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to like be really close with your team, and like just it shouldn't feel like this. And so I'm just grateful for her being here today and doing my ultrasound and catching up with her, because she made me feel so much better. And about the situation, like I still have a headache. And then she was telling me like we have a lot of similarities in how like we handle things and just like what happens. And I was telling her about like my migraines and headaches, and she's just like, it's stress. She's like, yeah, it's a combination of all the things. It's the estrogen, and it could be like the change in altitude also. She's like, it's everything. But if you're getting tension headaches, that's stress. Because she's like, I get those too. And I was like, well, that explains it. Every time I touch down to California, like I'm triggered, I guess. I'm triggered. And as soon as I walk inside this building, it intensifies. Like my shoulder hurts so bad on this side, on my right side, that like I'm kind of like, you can't see me. My shoulder hurts so bad on this side that I'm kind of like holding it up, and that doesn't help either. But I just took something for it. I'm about to knock this out right now. My blood pressure, Jesus. When she first took it, it was 160/93. And then that guy from the last time, he walked in the room and kind of looked over, and he whispered to her, like, are you going to retake that? And she's just like, yeah. So then he walks out, and then she comes back over to me, and she's like, I'm going to retake your blood pressure. Do you want me to draw your blood first or do it now or after? And I was like, it doesn't really matter. Like, I'm not afraid of needles. Like, at least I don't think that, like, I'm nervous or whatever. And I was just telling her how I actually do have a headache coming on, and just like how I was actually feeling, because when she asked me how I was doing, I was like, fine, just like everybody does, right? You just say, oh, I'm fine, when you're really not. So like she put the cuff back on, and I was just trying to relax and was talking to her, and she sat down next to me and was talking, and that time it had lowered down to 146 over something, and she's just like, well, it definitely got better, but it's still higher than your normal. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense, okay. And she's just like, if you're worried about it, definitely talk to the nurses. And I was like, okay, I'm not worried about it, but I mean, I am, because I'm always talking about my blood pressure, granted. But I feel like it's always sky high as soon as I touch down to this place and walk into the building. I swear it. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. Other than keep drinking water, like stay hydrated. I'm drinking coconut water now. Oh gosh. Be easy, E. Be easy. Be easy, E. Relax. Oh, I need to get all my shit under control before the next appointment. But basically, my girl, she's just like, there's no reason for you to like stay because it's baseline, and as long as you have estrogen, then you're fine. And I was like, cool, bet, I'm out of here. So I'm not going to stay 30 minutes to an hour like I was determining. I'm out. I don't want to be, like, it's already going to be, like, close to 9 o'clock when I get home, and I want to go to bed. Get ready for the next day. So that's what we're going to do.